Are you or someone you know looking to buy or sell a home? When you use a HomeGain Realtor to buy or sell a home, you can get $150. Visit HomeGain.com and click on the Promo 150 banner at the top of the page to get started. Compare HomeGain Realtors and choose your favorite. Complete your home purchase or sale transaction with a HomeGain Realtor, and HomeGain will pay you $150. Get started today by going to HomeGain.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to Real Estate 360 Live. I'm your host, Ryan Sloper. Joining me on our panel today is Louis Cammarosano, the General Manager of HomeGain. Reminder that the show is designed and dedicated to building the Washington, D.C. Metro's housing and credit markets one house at a time by giving you good, free advice. If you ever have any questions, concerns, or real estate needs, the best number to reach out to us is 877-245-2030. That's 877-245-2030. That's if you're in need of credit repair, you're looking to purchase or refinance to lowest rates in U.S. history, or buy or sell your home, or if you're stuck in a situation where you've been trying to get your loan modified for the last 6 months to a year and been unsuccessful, and you feel like you're just completely running out of options and you don't know where to turn, reach that off-air number, 877-245-2030, and we'd be glad to point you in the right direction. Also, you can visit us at the web, like I said, at realestate360live.com. On the right-hand side, there's an Ask a Question button. Fill in your contact information and your question, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. I want to get into this week's Market Movers. This segment was brought to you by HomeGain. HomeGain is the place to get you started buying or selling a home, finding a realtor, and getting real estate questions answered. So if you go to HomeGain.com today, you can see what I'm talking about. All you have to do is type in your home's address, and you'll get an instant free estimate of your home's value online. It's a great way to monitor your home's value, and it's totally free. So check that out today at homegain.com. So this week there's not that much in the way of data until Wednesday, when we're going to get the September new home sales. New home sales are expected to be up about 3%. The first look at the quarter 3 GDP on Friday is expected to come in at 1.7%. The Fed meeting begins Tuesday with the policy statement on Wednesday afternoon. Welcome back, everyone, to Real Estate 360 Live. I'm your host, Ryan Sloper, joined by my guest, Louis Cammarosano. Reminder that the show is dedicated to building Washington, D.C. Metro's housing and credit markets by giving you good free advice. If you ever have any questions, concerns, or real estate needs, the best number to reach out to us is 877-245-2030. That's 877-245-2030. So as for this week's Market Movers that can affect you and the real estate decisions that you make, there's not that much way in the way of data until Wednesday, when we get the September new home sales report. New home sales are expected to be up about 3%. The first look at quarter 3 GDP on Friday is expected at 1.7%. The Fed meeting begins Tuesday with their policy statement on Wednesday afternoon. And obviously, most of the focus is going to be on the debates in the presidential election. So there's been a lot less focus lately on the EU and the debt mess that they have going on over there. A poll of registered voters showed that 45% believe the economy is improving, while only 9% see it as worsening. Louis, that seems like those numbers are pretty skewed. Would you agree with that?
I think, if anything, the economy is flat. It's certainly not improving.
Yeah, I mean, 45% to say that they're improving. I'd love to see who they were polling. You know what I mean? Because that number is really high. I mean, I think at best, like you said, we're flat in certain areas in the D.C. metro area. Obviously, we've seen housing that's been doing fairly well lately. But I could also see that, our job situation would be better. So those kind of go hand in hand. So I think, once again, from a national perspective, I would think that things would be flat in some areas of the Northeast, and even what are things like out there in California right now, Louis? Are things getting
not very good? But if you think about nationally, what's happened over the last 4 years, the economy deteriorated rapidly in 2009 and 10, and got worse in 11 and 12. So even if you say it's improving from what base?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really a good economy. It's just, it's just doing a little better from a very poor position.
Yeah, I mean, there's not for there to be that much optimism. I mean, I don't know where exactly it's coming from, other than that they just want to show that there's that consumer confidence in the market. I would think that consumer confidence is typically driven by lower gas prices, by a healthy job market, of which we don't really have either one of those things. I've seen gas prices that are rising. I don't know what gas prices are out there on the West Coast right now, Lewis, but I mean they've been rising over here for some time now.
Sometimes they're close to $4.50 to $5. This reminds me of the Oscar Wilde quote, all of us are in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars. I mean, to say that the economy is improving, it really doesn't make a stitch of sense when, as you say, gas prices are higher than they were last year, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. The GDP has not improved in the last 2 or 3 years. Unemployment has improved, only the general unemployment rate has gone down, but the U9 unemployment rate has stayed at 15%. So I don't see any improvement in the economy at all.
No, and I mean for those out there that are looking at this debate tonight and moving into the election, I really can't see them having confidence in what their decision is going to be based upon what's taking place right now. I think that it is an important election. It seems to be a dead heat right now, so it'll be interesting to see how things play out. Many have asked, okay, well, what do you think interest rates are going to do depending upon who wins the election? And I think the answer is it doesn't really matter, because the Fed is going to continue to artificially manipulate interest rates. They're going to continue to buy mortgage-backed securities. And as they've said numerous times, they plan on keeping long-term interest rates low for an extended period of time. So regardless of who takes presidency, this is not going to change. And it's interesting, I haven't heard one question about what's going on with the Fed and the printing of money. We're not going to get any of those questions asked, I'm assuming. They're steering completely clear of that.
You haven't even heard about the fiscal cliff, what to do. What do you think about the Federal Reserve's policies? Nothing.
And those are like the most important critical things that should be talked about right now, but they're just kind of passed by the wayside, and everybody's just like, I guess we'll worry about that later. Or that's the Fed's job to worry about that. We're not going to worry about that.
Right. I mean, if you think about, Obama characterizes Romney a certain way, Romney characterizes Obama in a certain way, and they're all very shallow kind of schoolyard taunts. Obama says that he goes on about being out of touch with women, and he references binders and Big Bird, and references the rich guy with foreign bank accounts. And then Romney does the same, characterizing Obama as having socialist tendencies and a willingness to engage in class warfare. And they say, you didn't do that, and spread the wealth around. And you really don't see any real discussion of the issues. So they characterize each other in a certain way. I guess the only advantage that Romney has is that he can get up on stage and kind of dispel how he's been characterized. And also, Obama's disadvantage is he is running on a record that does have some flaws in it, because mainly the economy is not doing very well.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Gas prices, high unemployment, you got foreign policy issues, you got the increases in welfare, and so on.
Many of which would lead you to believe that the consumer confidence would be not improving. We're coming up on a break, guys. When we come back, home improvement and remodeling boom is seen going into 2013. I'll let you know more when we come back.